One of the victims of this tragedy grew up in Mequon. 27-year-old Carrie Rotman was shot in the leg, and a teenager from Cascade in Sheboygan County was in the theater next door. Our Tammy Hughes is here now with more on what they saw. Tammy.
Carrie Rotman grew up in Mequon. His dad, Dale, is a Thiensville dentist. I talked to Dale over the phone today. He told me he got the call from his son in the middle of the night. Carrie asked his parents to come be by his side. They took the earliest flight they could.
Pretty shocking phone call.
Dr. Dale Rotman spoke to us on his cell phone near Aurora, Colorado. He and his wife rushed there after getting a devastating call from their 27-year-old son, Carrie.
My son called us and said there had been a shooting. He had gotten shot in the leg, but he was okay.
Carrie is a 1997 graduate of Homestead High School in Mequon. He's been living in the Denver area and working for Coors with his wife, whom he just married on June 23rd. Dale says Carrie was not with his wife at the theater. He was with a friend who was shot twice.
They heard the shots. He said it sounded like firecrackers, so they didn't realize what it was at first. And then when they did realize it, they ducked down between their seats on the row in front of them.
Dale says Carrie was able to make it out of the theater and received help in the parking lot from teenagers he didn't even know.
4 kids were there, teenage kids, and they helped him and carried him over to the lawn. One of the kids put his belt on his leg, a tourniquet.
Those same teens flagged down a police officer who rushed Carrie to a hospital. Right next to that theater was 15-year-old Katie Trakel of Cascade, Wisconsin.
We were so confused and startled, like we really didn't know what was going on.
She was in the area attending a convention with her family. Katie says her group heard the gunshots, but they weren't sure if it was part of the movie.
We saw some smoke and we were like, okay, like firecrackers, this cool like special effect for the shooting scene.
A bullet went through the wall and hit one of her friends in the arm. It wasn't until they made it out of the theater that they realized the severity of what had just happened.
When we saw like blood and some injuries and we like realized that Paige was shot and all the police were coming, we're like, oh my God, like there was seriously like a shooting.
Fortunately, all of the people I mentioned in my story are expected to recover, and they are feeling very fortunate because they realize that 12 other families cannot be with their loved ones tonight.
Yeah, you know, as this unfolded, we were surprised to see any Wisconsin connection. And
yeah, sounds like there's quite a few.
Yeah, and unfortunately for some families, as you mentioned, they don't have that opportunity.
Right, they're feeling very grateful. They're in shock, but at least glad because they've seen what could have been, at least for them.
All right, thank you, Tammy.
Yep.
However, the tragedy in Colorado is not keeping people away from the